have resiliency program, infrastructure development program, and we have more objectives here as well as programs. Then the T is to transform stewardship and strategic utilization of the different sources of the university. This one is in resource management, and we have here health and wellness program, the human resource program, digitalization program. So, with these agenda that are great, mga kasubay, hawak natin ang beat.
Duruging nga salamat, Dr. May T. Delgado, our first presidential candidate for the University of Antique. You may now go back to the holding area. This time, we are expecting for the return on stage of our second candidate. Our second candidate as University President is Dr. 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 𝐻𝐫𝐈𝐝.
Honorable Chairman and members of the Board of Regents of University of Antique, Chairman and members of the Search Committee for UA Presidency, Pasok President Dr. 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢, government officials and its representative, mga kasubay community, ladies and gentlemen, mayad-ayad nga aga. I am Dr. 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 𝐻𝐫𝐈𝐝. It is my privilege to stand before you today, ready to guide the University of Antique toward a future of distinction. I am a licensed electrical engineer, academic leader with over 35 years of dedicated service to higher education. I hold a doctorate degree in public management, a master's degree in material science and engineering at University of the Philippines, Diliman, Quezon City, a DOST SF scholar, and University of California, Berkeley visiting scholar. As a former president of a state college and dean of the SEA, I have led strategic reforms, innovation, and academic excellence. My consultancy with CPSC, Asia Pacific Accreditation Certification Commission, and CHED Regional quality assurance team has defined or deepened my commitment to quality, equity, and regional collaboration. Grounded on technical expertise and public service, I am ready to lead our university toward greater impact, enabling faculty, uplifting students, partnerships with community for sustainable development. Empowering UA. When I decided, by the way, to run for university president, I asked myself one question. What can I do for the University of Antique? This question has been the cornerstone of my campaign, and my answer is clear. I offer my experience, my passion, and my unwavering commitment to serving this institution. That is why empowering UA to reach its potential, a commitment, and not just a slogan. It requires a vision for transformative leadership that trusts our faculty to pioneer, our students to lead, our staff to innovate, and our community to partner. We will get there by working in synergy, by aligning our resources, sharing decision-making, and holding ourselves accountable to measurable progress. Let us build it together. UA Pride. United by values, driven by excellence. So the question that I asked a while ago, this will connect to my experience here at UA, wherein this is very deep. It is because that my father served the university for more than 2 decades, and his team was instrumental in converting the school from Antique School of Arts and Trade to Polytechnic State College of Antique. UA's universityhood was the brainchild and the ultimate goal of my father's team. Now that universityhood has been realized, my mission is to honor that foundation by propelling UA to greater heights and ensuring its next chapter is defined by transformative leadership, institutional growth, and sustained service. Building on the historic milestone, I embrace the SMART vision and mission as the strategic compass that will guide UAs to the next chapter, ensuring every initiative is deliberate, accountable, and geared toward measurable impact. My proposed vision, this will envision that UA will be sustainable in its ethical stewardship and strong long-term planning, modern in its culture of innovation and institutional agility, adaptive in its responsiveness to the evolving needs of the students and communities, resilient in its capacity to navigate challenges with strength, and technology-driven in its strategic use of digital advancement to elevate teaching, research, and service. Guided by the SMART vision, we remain deeply committed to producing empowered and globally competitive graduates and transforming lives through inclusive and quality education, relevant research and innovation, and responsive, sustainable development policies. At the heart of our institutional identity lies UA Pride. A proposed set of core values that will shape how we lead, learn, and serve. Unity in diversity, accountability with passion, respect, integrity, dynamism, and excellence in service. Guided by SMART vision and anchored in UA Pride, These four-year development goals translate our institutional aspirations to concrete measurable actions. Together, they form a strategic blueprint to elevate UA's academic standards, strengthen our partnerships, and secure a future of enduring excellence. Our first goal is to elevate academic excellence through strong leadership and global engagement. We will actively build institutional or international partnerships to broaden UA's reach and competitiveness, while investing heavily in our faculty and staff so that they can lead with confidence and expertise. Our students will receive expanded future-ready support services, and our graduate programs will be strengthened through specialized training and strategic collaboration. By driving impactful, modernizing our curricula, and embedding cutting-edge technology into everyday teaching and learning, we will raise UA's academic standard. All of these efforts will be a culture of recognition and accountability that rewards innovation, honors dedication, and keeps our community aligned with smart vision and UA pride values. My goal too focuses on strengthening institutional capacity to achieve operational excellence, global competitiveness, and distinctive university brand. We will accelerate internationalization while deepening partnerships with local and global institutions, ensuring our academic programs meet rigorous local and international accreditation standards. Our institutional identity will be elevated through strategic alumni engagement and proactive branding, while student recruitment and retention will be bolstered by a comprehensive mentoring systems. To sustain long-term growth, we will prioritize digital transformation for streamlined operations and among others. Goal 3, enhancing partnerships and networking for resource mobilization, aims to build a collaborative, financially resilient ecosystem that drives institutional growth and long-term sustainability. This will be accomplished by expanding international partnerships and academic exchange programs, while simultaneously strengthening public-private collaborations with government agencies and among others. Strategic corporate alliances will be developed to directly fund research initiatives and academic program, working in tandem with target alumni engagement, campaigns that foster lifelong networking and philanthropic support. To secure enduring financial stability, a dedicated endowment fund will be established, complemented by diversified revenue generation through sustainable smart agriculture and automation ventures. Innovation and startup development will be further catalyzed through TBI, while essential infrastructure upgrades will be realized via structured PPP. All these collaborations will be committed, or will be our commitment to operational excellence, implement through rigorous cost efficiency measures that optimize resource allocation and transparent, accountable governance delivered via streamlined online services, clearly administrative processes. I envisioned UA as a beacon of excellence, recognized not only with the province of Antique and the Western Visayas region, but across the world. With my 35 years of experience in education, I understand the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Thank you so much. God bless everyone. Rako ganyan salamat sa inyong tanan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Godeline S. Galiega-Hisole. You may now return to our holding area. Again, duruging nga salamat. And while waiting for candidate number 3, indeed today is a momentous event because we have here with us the 5 groups of stakeholders. And later on in the round 2 of our Q&A, they will have their own part asking questions to our candidates relative to different issues that they think needs to be answered. So, duruging nga salamat for coming from the group of students, from the faculty, from the administrative personnel, from the alumni as well, community or PTA, and from the private sector. So, kompleto kita. And we would like also to acknowledge the presence of the honorable members of our Board of Regents. We have Honorable Dolorosa Pajarillo, Honorable Tating, and Honorable Sheila Magdayao. Let's give a big hand to our Board of Regents and of course to the members of the search committee. As mentioned earlier, after the presentation of the vision, mission, and goals of our candidates, we will proceed to the second segment, which is composed of 2 rounds. The first round will be the direct questions of different representatives of our stakeholders, and the second round will be the random picking of questions from different stakeholders as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we have here right now candidate number 3, Dr. Wilfredo Muhat.
To the members of the search committee, to the members of the Board of Regents, Honorable Lauren Ligarda, represented by the staff, Ma'am Payne, and also my mentors, Dr. Muyung, Dr. Crespo, my fellow executive directors, executive committee, valued stakeholders, faculty and staff, my dear students, good morning. So today, I would like to present to you my mission, vision, and development goals. I'm your Sir Muhat, the aspirant or the candidate for University President of the University of Antique. So I present to you the presentation, so listen and please lend me your ears and eye as I present to you my mission, vision, and goals.
From its humble beginnings as a local institution with a simple mission to educate, to uplift, and to serve, the University of Antique has grown into a pillar of hope for the people of Antique. Through the years, it has shaped teachers, professionals, leaders, and changemakers. It has opened doors for generations who dared to dream beyond their circumstances. The University of Antique became more than an institution. It became hope. Today, the university stands at another defining chapter. A chapter where growth demands stronger leadership, where tradition must meet innovation, where excellence must become our standard, not our aspiration. And as we choose the next president of the University of Antique, we are not simply choosing a leader. We are choosing direction. We are choosing momentum. We are choosing the future. With humility and commitment, today I present to you my proposed vision, mission, and development goals. My vision is for UA to become a center of excellence advancing transformative education, innovation, community engagement, and digitization by 2032. By 2032, I see a University of Antique that is nationally recognized, globally competitive, and deeply rooted in service to Antique. A university that transforms lives. A university that innovates with purpose. A university that leads. To realize this, our mission is to provide quality and transformative education and advanced instruction in all fields of specialization. We shall pursue innovative and impactful research, deliver responsive extension programs, and advance digital innovation to produce empowered and globally competitive graduates, while driving sustainable development. But vision and mission must be supported by concrete action. That is why I propose 5 strategic development goals. First, we strengthen instruction, the very foundation of our university. We will raise our board examination passing rates above the national average across all licensure programs. To achieve this, we will establish a fully equipped teaching and learning resource center that will house board review programs and faculty-led coaching sessions. Performance monitoring systems will track mock exam results per program to ensure continuous improvement. We will strictly implement and enhance our retention policies to guide, mentor, and ensure that every graduate meets the highest standards. We will expand access to flexible, open, and internationalized learning programs through hybrid and fully online modality. We will strengthen our graduate school programs by creating a separate department and hiring expert, local, and international educators. We will pursue international academic partnerships and student mobility programs to strengthen global exposure and competitiveness. Digital transformation will be institutionalized. Learning management systems will be adopted and faculty will undergo digital pedagogy training. Finally, we will upgrade our learning environments by converting our classrooms into solar-powered, technology-enabled smart classrooms and laboratories. Because sustainability and modernization must move forward together. Our students deserve not just access to education, but excellence in education. Second, we elevate our research culture. We will establish a centralized research and innovation hub, a dynamic space where faculty and students collaborate, create, and innovate. This hub will include co-working spaces, research laboratories, a proposal writing support center, and access to data analytics. We will increase research publications in Scopus and other refereed index journals by providing research grants and structured mentoring. Regular capability building workshops will be conducted to strengthen research design, methodology, and scholarly writing. We will promote community responsive and industry linked research, ensuring studies are translated into real solutions for society. To strengthen innovation, we will intensify intellectual property generation. Faculty and students will receive training in patent writing and tech transfer. We will develop stronger partnerships with industry and government agencies to support funded research and collaborative projects. Research processes will also be modernized. We will digitize research submission and establish a digital research repository. And annually, we will host research conferences and innovation expos, platforms where ideas become impact. Because research is not optional in a center of excellence. It is the engine that drives relevance, reputation, and regional development. Third, we strengthen our commitment to community engagement. The University of Antique does not exist for itself. It exists to serve. Our extension programs will be aligned with local and regional development priorities, ensuring every initiative responds to real needs. We will adopt a structured community needs assessment framework so that our interventions are evidence-based and sustainable. We will expand technology transfer initiatives and livelihood programs, translating research into solutions that improve quality of life. Research will no longer remain in journals alone. It will be integrated into extension programs for measurable socio-economic impact. We will also promote digital extension services through webinars and online skills training, expanding our reach beyond geographical limitations. To ensure accountability and impact, we will implement data-driven monitoring and evaluation tools. And we will establish long-term partnerships through strengthened MOAs with LGUs and industry partners because sustainable development requires collaboration. Our goal is simple, not outreach for compliance, but engagement for transformation. Fourth, we strengthen the university's role as a hub of innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable development. We will establish and operationalize a technology business incubator, or TBI, to support student and faculty startups, providing business mentoring, prototype development, market validation, and intellectual property registration assistance. We will create a technology transfer and commercialization office to scale viable research outputs into market-ready products, encourage faculty-industry collaborations, and increase the university's internally generated income through innovation-driven enterprises. Technology-driven production units will be developed across agri-tech, food innovation, and digital services, promoting hands-on, production-based learning for our students while generating sustainable revenue streams for the university. We will secure funding support from national agencies such as DOST-PCI-EARD and link our incubated startups with investors and industry partners to ensure that innovations reach the market. Entrepreneurship and innovation will be integrated into the curriculum, and we will showcase startups and university-produced products in annual innovation fairs, promoting a culture of creativity, enterprise, and sustainability. At the same time, we will invest in eco-friendly and technology-based production facilities, including solar-powered classrooms and green campus initiatives that reduce waste and energy consumption. Transforming research into impact, turning ideas into enterprises, and shaping students into innovators and leaders of tomorrow. This is how we build a University of Antique that is both financially sustainable and environmentally responsible. Finally, we strengthen governance, the backbone of a forward-looking university. We will digitize administrative systems and adopt paperless platforms to ensure efficiency and transparency. A new digital gate entry system will improve campus security and accountability. Integrated management systems and performance dashboards will allow data-driven decision-making across all colleges. Regular audits and leadership training will reinforce a culture of integrity and excellence. By doing these, we will ensure that the University of Antique is governed with clarity, fairness, and purpose, empowering faculty, staff, and students to achieve their highest potential. By 2032, the University of Antique will not only aspire to excellence, it will embody excellence. Doro-doro gid nga salamat.
With that, if I'm given a chance to become the next university president, the development goals now that we have, so we will implement them. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilfredo Muhat, our third candidate for university president. Durugid nga salamat, sir. You may now go back to the holding area and waiting for our candidate number 4. I would like to say thank you again and welcome to our beloved province, Antique, to the members of our search committee, headed of course by Dr. Dexter Buted. And members, we have also Dr. Tirso Ronquillo, Dr. Raul Muyong, Mr. Mark Joseph Reyes. We have also Attorney Maria Dolicel Yao and Ma'am Arjen Rose Isquilion. I hope that you will enjoy your stay here in the University of Antique. So for the information of everybody, this afternoon, they were going to conduct the closed-door panel interview. This time, we are now ready to listen to our fourth candidate. We have Dr. Carlos Alfonso Salvador.
Bambuhay Kasubay. In my 22 years of service in the educational institution, 8 years in the private institution, and 12 years in the state university, and designated in a different positions in the university as an administrator, as program chair, dean, university registrar, and vice president for student affairs and services, and dean for student affairs and services. I have only realized something, and I realized that sometimes transformation begins with when someone not only sees the organization as it is, but what it can become. Take, for example, the story of Starbucks. It started as a small coffee shop in Seattle. But in 1983, Howard Schultz had an opportunity to see and experience the coffee house culture of Milan. And what he saw is just more than a business selling coffee. He saw experience, connection, and community. No one believed his idea, but because he recognizes opportunities, initiated change, and helped shape change, Starbucks became the global brand that we know it today. And this story is the same as what I am proposing to the university, to rise as to ascend. Because when we start recognizing potential, initiate action, shape new direction, and we elevate into something higher than where we began. This is our vocation as an educational institution, right? We recognize the potential of our students, faculty, staff, industry partners, and even the community where we belong. That is why it is my proposal that that RISE must be embedded not only in our aspiration, but also in the way we see or define our future through our vision and mission. Our vision tells us that we must recognize that transformation must be inclusive, that innovation must be sustainable, and there should be a principled leadership. Our mission, from this vision, our mission must now find its voice in action. We rise because we recognize the urgent need to provide accessible, inclusive, and transformative higher education. A university truly fulfills its mission when it becomes a space where opportunity are made accessible, human dignity is upheld, and every learner is empowered not only to gain entry, but to develop and thrive. We rise because we initiate to ensure that instructions, research, and innovation that are deeply grounded in the needs and aspiration of our communities, while strengthening extension, engagement that uplifts livelihood, protect cultural heritage, and advance environmental stewardship. We rise to shape learners who are globally adaptive, ethically grounded, and future-ready. We rise to elevate the university by upholding transparent, accountable, and people-centered governance. This then is where our mind and heart must meet, because what we believe as an institution must now be translated into what we do. And it is through that action that we begin to ascend, to aspire for greater access, to strengthen excellence, and to create wholeness, to empower innovation, to nurture values, and to deepen service. Yet the true meaning of ascend is not found in words alone, but in what we are able to achieve together. We must advance access and equity because education fulfills its highest purpose only when opportunity is not reserved for the few, but open to every learner who dares to hope regardless of distance, status, or circumstances. We must strengthen competence and global competitiveness because the future will not wait for those who are unprepared. It belongs to those who are ethical, adaptable, digitally fluent, and ready to lead with excellence in both local and global arenas. We must create holistic development because a university does not exist merely to produce degree holders, but to form human beings of character, courage, resilience, compassion, and purpose. We must empower innovation and research, not as an academic requirement alone, but as a living force that generates solution, uplifts community, protects our future, and gives meaningful answer in the real challenges. Yet all of these are not separate ambition. They are held together by one larger framework that gives meaning, balance, and direction to all that we do. And that framework is CAS. Comfortable, accessible, and sustainable. That is why before we ask our students to excel, we must ask, are they safe, secure, and treated with dignity? Before we expand programs, we must ask, who is still being left behind? And before we invest the resources entrusted to us, we must ask, will what we build today endure and serve the generations of tomorrow? For me, this framework is not only institutional, it is deeply personal. It is not only a homecoming for me, it is a mission to care. And that is, at this point in time, the song at the beginning reminds a simple truth. Once we are strangers to one another, yet here we are, now gathered all in one hall, standing a shared beginning, united. I am Carlos Alfonso C. Salvador. I am an Antiqueño by heart and mind. And I assure you that I will be committed, adaptable, and service-oriented. Sa muli, bathala ang siyang gagabay sa ating lahat. Duro nga salamat, University of Antique, Kruhay, Antique.
Maraming salamat, Dr. Carlos Alfonso Salvador from Palawan State University. Thank you, sir. And it's good to see the full support of all the members of the university officials, headed, of course, by our former university president, Dr. Crespo, and our OIC president right now, Dr. Jeline Alintahan. And they are joined as well by our VPAA, Vice President for Academic Affairs. We have Dr. Catherine Viesca. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to listen and witness the presentation of our candidate number 5, Dr. John Amar.
Leadership is not just about standing elders, but about standing beside them with grace and humility. To the members of the Board of Regents, to the esteemed search committee, To our OIC University President, Dr. Jeline O. Alintahan. To our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Pablo S. Crespo Jr. To the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Catherine C. Viesca. Faculty and staff, our alumni, our stakeholders, provincial and local officials, ladies and gentlemen, my warmest greetings. As a true-blooded Antioqueño and certified alumnus of the University of Antique, it is always my desire and commitment to serve with integrity and empathy, a true believer that education remains as the greatest equalizer of every Filipino family. I am Dr. John de la Cruz Amar, a native of Tibiao, Antique, a pioneer graduate of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from the University of Antique, Tario Lim Memorial Campus as cum laude. A holder of Certificate in Teaching in the Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics. A Master of Science in Computer Science graduate from the University or from AMA Computer University, Quezon City, a graduate of Master of Education, major in Educational Management from this university, and a graduate of Doctor of Management with concentration on Public Management from Central Philippine University. Now, the Dean of the College of Computing and Information Sciences of the University of Antique, Main Campus. My journey in this present higher learning institution has been well defined by a remarkable observation that education is considered as our battering ram for social flexibility of the province of Antique, and the country as well. I have seen that even a single degree can lift a family from the bondage of poverty. And even a single research breakthrough could convert local industries. But as a computer science enthusiast, I have seen the gaps, the digital divide that leaves rural students behind, the refinement of our curricula in order to cope with the demands of the modern time, and the administrative hurdles that stifle faculty and staff competence and performance. I am seeking the presidency in order to continue the legacy of our former university president, Dr. Pablo S. Crespo Jr., my mentor, my trainer, who really labored hard in transforming this university into a powerhouse of national development. We, therefore, should be engines of innovation that power our province, that power our region, and that power our country. I am aiming for a university where information technology serves humanity, where all students in this University of Antique will be fully equipped with the knowledge and skills, ready, of course, to compete in an AI-driven environment. Research, extension, and innovation should have the heartbeat. Our university researchers should not only publish researches for citations, but instead look for innovative things that would change the plight of Antioqueños. Management as a service. As a management graduate, I would instill transparency, accountability in all transactions of the university. My presidency is built on the credence that the next president of the University of Antique should be an innovator, change maker, an AI-empowered individual, and of course, an academician. I am seeing the position of the president not as a power of position, but simply the ground, of course, of bringing the University of Antique into greater heights. I am now ready to take the lead of the University of Antique, not by looking back from our previous past achievements or accomplishments, but rather rise as a dynamic university, resilient and dignified, kasabay in a God-centered institution. As a presidential aspirant, I envision a University of Antique that is globally competitive, research-driven, AI-empowered university that transforms lives, sustains or advances sustainable development, and champions inclusive growth for Antique, Region 6 or Western Visayas, and beyond. As a presidential aspirant, I have this mission. I am keeping my fingers crossed that the University of Antique should deliver transformative and inclusive education, advance impactful research and innovation, strengthen community engagements and extension services, promote digital transformation and technological integration, and of course, institutionalize or foster internationalization and global partnerships. As an aspirant, I have these development goals which focus on academic excellence and quality assurance, research, innovation, and knowledge commercialization, digital and smart campus transformation, student success and holistic development. And we have here integrate service learning into all academic programs. As president of the University of Antique, I will lead with integrity and accountability, evidence-based decision-making, inclusive and participatory governance, technological foresight, and a deep commitment to student-centered services. Considering the foregoing statements, ladies and gentlemen, the University of Antique shall not only preserve its legacy, but rather rise as a dynamic engine of innovation, regional transformation, and globally competitive, yet deeply rooted in the aspirations of Antiqueño culture and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. John de la Cruz Amar.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amar, or John C. Amar. So, duruging salamat. And right now, we are down to the final candidate for the university president. May we now call on Dr. Loyalda Bolivar.
A humble morning to each and every one, to the distinguished members of the election committee, to the members of the Board of Regents, the execom, everyone else, office of the senator, office of the congressman, office of the governor, the faculty, staff, students, guests. Again, pleasant morning. My vision, mission, and development goals for 4 years. Tagline, sustaining excellence, championing innovation, serving communities. I, Loyalda T. Bolivar, applying for University President, University of Antique. My brief profile, you can see there. To make it short, I'm a graduate of Central Philippine University, Doctor of Management, major in Development Management. My master's, Rural Development, Master of Management, major in Rural Development Management. And my undergrad, Bachelor of Science in Community Development and Psychology. I had the chance to work with IPC, Institute of Philippine Culture, Ateneo de Manila University, before coming here to be once a guidance counselor, became a dean twice, became a director twice, and in between other stints, and finally, a Professor 6 as well. Leadership philosophy, growth-oriented and empowering kind of leadership. Focus, cultivating talent and fostering independence. I believe leadership is not about putting greatness to people, but recognizing that it already exists and helping it emerge. Leadership is not about anything but responsibility. It's about foresight to see change and the courage to make it real. Yeah, according to one of my idols, what matters most is responsibility, and that with consistency, clarity, and quiet dedication. Why am I running? 2 compelling reasons. 1, because I was blessed with so much in my career, humbly speaking. And secondly, I feel that calling in my life because there is so much more in this university. And to me, there are people, human resources, very potential, both internal and external environments. And this, I would like, if given the chance, this is my payback period for all these things. Yeah, furthermore, I would like to have all these, no? And institutional excellence and organizational improvements must be concretized so soon, if not so soon, in 4 years. Evidence-based performance and achievements, which are all paramount. Gain more momentum and reach a possible SUC level. UA is possible of becoming, gain possible highest accreditation for all programs, even making it a center of excellence and center of development. Earn a genuine ISO certification consistently. Make it a way of life. Enjoy regular performance-based bonus and the boldest to chart in the World Universities ranking. To put it more succinctly, this institutional excellence and institutional improvements or organizational improvements are about SUC leveling, which is about performance, assurance, excellence, quality assurance, same accreditation, and a lot more. Institutional culture boiling down to excellence and performance. Framework of my vision and mission and goals, the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, the Achieve of CHED, and the Ambition 2040, because all of these are embracing, no? UA, if this is the case, shall move beyond passive education to becoming proactive, transformative, and sustainable university. Likewise, same with Ambition 2040, it actually looks forward to producing graduates who are active drivers of development. And aligning with Achieve is a future-proof Philippine higher education, no? A nation powered by innovation according to Bagong Pilipinas vision. This is actually anchored on this with compassion and love of country. So my vision, a future-ready university offering sustainable, adaptable higher learning that catalyzes research and innovation and community engagement, fostering global competitiveness and, of course, in transforming lives. My mission, the university commits to providing learner-centered, technology-driven environment that empowers diverse communities to promote transformative education, interdisciplinary research, and active industry partnerships to create solutions for sustainable development, ensuring resilient, adaptable, and socially responsible graduates ready to face the world. Strategic Development Goals 1, future-ready curricula and innovation, instruction. Goal 2, impactful research and development. Goal 3, holistic, inclusive student development. And last, sustainable governance and infrastructure, operational efficiency, student success, R&D, and instruction. All of these are anchored on SDGs, Achieve, and Ambition 2040. Future-ready curricula, prioritizing soft skills, embracing technology integration, fostering critical thinking. So you can see collaborative projects for students, etc. Classrooms must be internet-ready with all other needed facilities to embrace technology integration and a lot more. Promote inquiry-based learning to foster critical thinking. Researches should be project-based learning should be research rigorous, climate change focused, and the like. So goal 2, impactful research and development. We have sustainable development focus, academic industry linkage, and interdisciplinary solutions. Holistic inclusive student development, resilient adaptability, global citizenship, and employability. And last, digital transformation, green campuses, financial literacy. So achieve excellence and improvements at UA, differentiation strategy, quality assurance and accreditation, faculty development, qualifications, local and international linkages, structural and technological upgrades, strategic governance, intensify research, extension, and innovation. This is very important. Review all SWOT analysis of existing or current situation. We have to look at the intellectual properties, potential for commercialization, for dissemination, and a lot more activities. Research partnerships and collaboration should be intensified. Establishment of research ethics office, research centers, and a lot more. So in summary, leadership is about holding on to what worked, not holding on to what worked yesterday, but it's about preparing to what's coming tomorrow. Yes, future-proof, future-ready university. To conclude, I must say that what matters are not just the plans, because they are figment of the imagination. What is important? Execution. And execution, I would like to say, this is about teamwork. This is about talents. This is about working together. What matters Again, I repeat, responsibilities with consistency, clarity, and quiet dedication. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Loyalda T. Bolivar, our sixth aspirant for university president. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to all the candidates for presenting your vision, leadership philosophy, and development agenda for the University of Antique. Your presentations have provided us the valuable insights into your strategic priorities and proposed directions for institutional growth and development in the university. This time, before we will proceed to the first round for the Q&A, let's have first a video presentation.
Where to go in case of an emergency. In UA, the designated evacuation areas are Old General Education Building, New General Education Building, Academy Building. Here's how to get there. Who to contact in case of an emergency. Office of the University President, Civil Security Services Unit, Sibalom Emergency Hotline Numbers. Mag-uligmat kita mga kasubay. What to do in case of an earthquake. If indoors, take cover under a table, desk, or other sturdy furniture. Protect your head and body from falling debris. Remain where you are until the shaking stops. Know the exit routes. If outdoors, go to an open area away from trees, buildings, walls, and power lines. In UA, the safest to go to is the UA field. Check for injuries and render first aid. Be prepared for aftershocks. Evacuate if necessary. Secure food, medicine, and water supplies. Mag-uligmat kita mga kasubay. What to do in case of fire. Turn off the electricity. Activate the fire alarm and try to help others evacuate. Contain the fire by closing all doors and windows but leave them unlocked. Call the fire department. Do not use elevators. Take the stairs. Stay calm. Extinguish the fire if you can. Know the exit routes. Move away. Do not re-enter without an all clear. Always think out your plan of action, then move. Mag-uligmat kita mga kasubay.
Answer segment. As mentioned earlier, there are two rounds. In this round, questions will come from the 5 stakeholder groups, namely from the students, from the faculty, from the administrative personnel, from the alumni, and from the representatives from the private sector or community. Each stakeholder representative will directly ask one question to each candidate. The first candidate will answer all 5 questions consecutively, one from each stakeholder group. After the first candidate has completed responding to all questions, the next candidate will then answer the same set of questions, following the predetermined order. This process will continue until all candidates have responded to the questions. Each candidate will be given again 2 minutes to answer every question, and the same order of candidates will be followed throughout this round 1. A timer will be used to help candidates manage their time. Again, the bell will ring once to signal the start of the answer or the response, twice to indicate the 30 minutes remaining, and 3 times to signify that the allotted time has ended. The timer will start when the candidate begins answering the question. Again, we would like to remind everyone that follow-up questions are not allowed in order to ensure fairness and consistency for all the candidates. And they are also allowed to use English or Filipino in this round. We respectfully request everyone to observe professional decorum and refrain from reacting while the candidates are still answering from the question. I believe we are now ready for round 1 of our Q&A. May we call in candidate number 1 to please join me back here on stage. This time, we will request representative from the students to ask the question. For clarity, we would like to request all representatives to repeat your question twice so that our candidates could clearly understand. Thank you.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. I am Dane Pidoy from the College of Teacher Education, and I would like to ask the question, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses? Again, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
In creating such kind of environment, I will make sure that all the facilities give access to the students, and each of those services that we have meet their different needs, giving them different opportunities, giving them the opportunity to express themselves wherein they would feel safe is also a must.
Okay, thank you very much. Representative from the student, may we call on this time a representative from the faculty or group of faculty. Again, please repeat the question twice so that our candidates could fully grasp your question.
Good morning, everyone. I am Edward J. M. Gabrielius, representing the faculty sector, both faculty and part-time instructors of the University of Antique. Faculty are the core of the university's success. Limited resources and diverse needs across departments. How would you identify the priority of areas for faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and service? I repeat, faculty are the core of the university's success. Given the limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how you would evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services?
in order to identify the needs of the faculty, there should be an intensive audit identifying the needs and in what particular area should be prioritized. And the available resources, of course, will be given to the area that is mostly prioritized. And considering that, we have to, as university president, for example, I have to consider which of these areas have the most impact to the different, shall we say, rules or functions of the university, especially in accomplishing the mission that it has set for itself.
Okay, thank you, sir. This time, let's listen to the representative from the administrative personnel.
Good morning, ma'am. I am Armila A. Cerato, the College Librarian 3 of this university, and in behalf of the non-teaching personnel, here is the question. How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays, and what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology? Again, how do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays, and what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology?
So let us start with redesigning our IT infrastructure, and I'm glad that we have that SIMS, we have the information system at this time, and we have already started with our online services for the student. But to make it a one-stop shop, so it has to consider all the possible services. It has to include all the possible services that it has to give to the students, like for example, enrollment, getting of grades, and another one, of course, in order to promote access, if we could have kiosks, not only in the university itself, but also it could be in the different municipalities, so that even those who are far from Sibalam or the different campuses could have access to these services.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Cerato from the admin staff. This time we will proceed to the next group of stakeholders from the alumni. Alumni representative, please.
Good morning po, ma'am.
Good morning.
I am Antonio Senilia of the University of Antique Alumni Association. As a representative of our organization, my question is, in your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and tradition of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Ulitin ko po. In your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow?
Okay, so thank you for that question, sir. Actually, modernization does not mean that we forget our roots. So in that case, since we are now in the digitalization of our documents, So we could preserve the documents that we have years ago. And I believe that this also is an advantage because we have the cloud, for example, storage. We have all the possible ways in order to preserve our documents decades ago. And it's in keeping in touch, meaning in this digital age, our alumni, for example, could access also to the different files, to those documents that they have, or to those memories or mementos that they have because of this. So we could make use of the online platform so that they would still keep in touch with where they had before. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. This time, let's hear another question from the private sector. Representative from the private sector.
Good morning, ma'am. I am past President Juliana O. Sepe of the Rotary Club of Antique. This is my question. How will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders? Again, how will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders?
Making our graduates globally competitive and still considers their local realities. We have to make it sure because it is formed here within the university. The university has that opportunity to hone these students to become globally competitive as well as to be responsive to the realities in the society. That's why here in the university, we ensure that they are given the different opportunities wherein they could apply the skills that they have in real life situations. We provide them with instructional materials. We hire competent teachers so that all these preparations would assure us that they are competitive. Well, in fact, our graduates already have proven that they're competitive enough because they won different competitions. They were also hired even in industries, not just here in the Philippines, but abroad. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And finally, this time, a representative from the local government unit and the community. Representative from LGU and the community. Okay, so since there is none, thank you very much, candidate number 1, Dr. May T. Delgado.
Thank you very much.
May we call on this time candidate number 2 who will respond to the same set of questions in the same order from the different groups of stakeholders. Candidate number 2 is Dr. Godeline Galiega Hisole. Asking again, requesting again, our student representative, your question, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I am Dean Pidoy, and I'm representing the students. So my question is, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
Yes, good morning, everyone. As a university president, if given a chance, the best thing that we can do is to incorporate an inclusive and safe environment for our students in terms of planning. On our strategic plan, it should be already, or it should be incorporated in the strategic plan how we will make the environment, particularly UA, safe for our students, and it will be inclusive, as well as there will be equitable, what do you call this, equitable alignment of all the plans and programs of the university. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. This time from the faculty. Representative from the faculty, please.
Good morning, ma'am. I am
morning.
𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 from the representative from the faculty sector, both faculty and the part-time instructors of the university. Faculty are the core of the university's success. Given the limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how you would evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services? I repeat, faculty are the core of the university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how you would evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services?
Thank you so much for that question, sir. First and foremost, we should establish the need analysis. We'll identify what are the needs of our faculty, and then incorporate it in our strategic plan, including the funding. And then, of course, we cannot deny that our faculty is the backbone and heart of the university. So the faculty are there to teach, touch the lives of our students, and of course, transform their lives. So they have a very significant role in the university. So in terms of development and in terms of motivation of our faculty, we have to remember that according to Einstein, E is equal to MC squared. E, effectiveness, efficiency, and economy. So that means that we have to motivate our people, particularly the faculty, to for them to have a double commitment to the university. So in order to measure the impact, what we can do is to have a regular monitoring and evaluation of the faculties, for example, trainings attended and advanced programs attended, particularly those who have scholarships. So I think if we are going to, and I believe if we're going to do it and include it in our strategic plan, everything will be in smooth sailing and in harmony. And we have to harmonize as well the needs of our faculty with the needs of the university. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for that question. We would like to request again back the representative from the administrative personnel.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
I am 𝐏𝐫𝐴 the college librarian of this university. And on behalf of the administrative and non-teaching personnel, here is the question. How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services, like enrollment and records, to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology? Again, how do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services, like enrollment and records, to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology?
Thank you so much, ma'am. First and foremost is, of course, as part of my academic or goal once to strengthen academic leadership, is to integrate technology in the operations of the university. So in other words, this is to streamline the bottlenecks along the way. So the problem, one of the problems that you have identified is that the students have challenges with regards to the availability of the technology in their areas. Probably it's the platform, the structure that is not available to them. But we have always a lot of ways to streamline the operation. First and foremost is, as I said, integrate technology in the operation. So for instance, with the registrar's office, considering that you have 28,000 students, what you can do is all transactions should be done online. And then the students will just go to the office just to claim the documents that they are going to get. And I think and I believe that all the students have cell phone, they have data if they don't have the Wi-Fi at home. So that could be a very good platform for them to use in order to, to streamline the bureaucratic practices. And of course, red tape sometimes is present in the government. So that's the best thing to eliminate corruption as well if we will do online, because there will be transparency and we will know who are the people accountable to those delays or bottlenecks along the process. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you once again. And this time from the alumni. Representative from the alumni.
Good morning po, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
I am Mr. Antonio Sinilla, acting president of the Alumni Association of the University of Antique. As alumni sector representative, my question is, in your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Ulitin ko po. In your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow?
Thank you so much, sir. First and foremost is we will give an alumni of UA to have an opportunity to go back to UA. And how are we going to do it? Some of the alumni are from abroad, so we can develop a online platform wherein we could connect to them and give them also honor and invite them to be part of the instruction and even research. We can partner with them. Like for example, if I'm handling one subject in the UA, I could invite one of the alumni to be my resource person. For example, I could invite architect Tating to be my lecturer in my class with regard to architecture and among other activities. And also give honor to your alumni, because I believe that alumni can be one of the source of revenue, quote unquote, with value nga madala they can bring to the university. Their expertise, even their wealth, they can bring to and then even what they call that endorsement that students should go to University of Antique because, or advertisement, because this is the university where quality of education is, and of course the culture is very rich. So I think engaging, and I believe engaging alumni is very important, and it is part of the equation of the progress of any university. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. This time from the private sector.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
I am past President Juliana Osepe from the Rotary Club of Antique. This is my question. How will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders? Again, how will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders?
Thank you so much, Ma'am. While integrating the needs of the industry to the curriculum is one. So in other words, we have to conduct and match the curriculum with the industry needs. So when our students will graduate, it is an assurance, or we could ensure the public that our graduates are ready for the industry because our curriculum, the training, their knowledge, skills, and even the attitude are aligned with what you call this, with the industry needs. So, and in terms of discipline, I believe the UA students, they have this culture of respect. That is why the pride core values that they have incorporated is a symbol that our students, or a manifestation that our students possess the right attitudes and knowledge for them. And as I said a while ago, the role of the faculty considers the 4 T's. Teach the students, train them, touch their lives, and transform. Touch their daily needs and transform their lives. So if we have a very strong pool of faculty in terms of qualifications and their competency to teach, coupled with the curriculum, which is in answer or that much to the need of the community, to the needs of the industry, I believe we will have a very employable graduates, not only locally, but even in the international arena. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Godeline Gallega Hisole. You may now go back to the
Thank you so much.
holding area. This time, let's welcome our third candidate, Dr. Wilfredo N. Muad. Requesting again, a representative from the students to please ask your question.
Good morning, sir. I am Dane
Good morning.
Pidoy, and I represent the students. So the question is, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
Can you repeat your question?
Okay. How will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
During my time as a student affairs and services director, I always focus also on the student development and student welfare. In other words, every time at the end of the day, we evaluate whether the canteen is available, the library, or any of our facilities are available to students. And then, of course, we will strengthen also our scholarship programs. During my time, ang daming scholar, because it is funded by the CHED and also funded by other NGO or funded by the national. Therefore, aside from scholarship, aside from learning environments, we have still do more about the learning environment para magiging inclusive, para sa students ay pwede nating masabi na ang school natin ay capable to handle students. Supposedly, one of my development goals for students is to have an air-conditioned rooms, no? And of course, it is solar powered. So mag-i-invest po tayo dyan, no? Para ang learning environment ng students natin ay mabuti.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, student representative. Requesting again our faculty rep.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝. I'm representing the faculty sector, both faculty and part-time instructors. Faculty are the core of the university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services? I repeat, faculty are the core of a university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development? And what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services?
Our faculty members is essential to the environment, to the school, because our faculty is the one who teach our students. Therefore, if we have some limited resources, we will try to exhaust our efforts para magagampanan natin ang mga kailangan ng ating faculty. Now, if we have some criteria, like for example, as of now, nagpapa-evaluate tayo ng mga faculty natin. So, dapat, kung ikaw yung president na ngayon, so dapat ang gagawin mo is, you have to support all the needs of your faculty because that is your backbone. Yun ang kailangan mo, ang faculty. So dapat magsusupport sa iyo yun. So paano mag-support ang faculty? So therefore, bigyan mo ng mga incentives. If there are research na kailangan i-publish or may impact, so gagamitin natin yon. For instance, I am the director of extension now. What I did is, there are some units, for example, mag-present ka at yung college mismo ang mananalo, binibigyan ko 'di ba ng laptop and computer, especially yung mga Libertad campus na kailangan nila, no? Yung mga equipments, Kaluya, and syempre yung TIC campus. So kailangan you have to evaluate the faculty for their own good also.
Okay, thank you very much. From the representative of the administrative personnel, this time, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝, and in behalf of the administrative and non-teaching personnel, here is your question. How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology? Again,
We
how-
have already, I think, okay ma'am.
How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology?
Thank you. One of my development goals, it is to digitize our system. We have already existing. Hindi naman pwede na wala tayong existing na mga unit or existing na mga enrollment, di ba? Pwede tayong mag-online. But of course, to implement digital i-upgrade natin yon para ang mga work natin will be easier, di ba? So, as of now, digitalization is the most important factor. There are some universities, they just at home, but then the enrollment is secured, no? We have also our system here, but siyempre kulang. So what you are going to do is upgrade, i-update natin yung system natin para each of one of us will learn also. At saka, masabi natin na itong University of Antique ay digitalized system natin. So, bibili tayo dyan. One of my is the gate, no? Diba, kita nyo kanina, yung students, mag-tap na lang ng ID, and then makapasok na sila. That is one. For the administration, dapat ang mga payroll natin, digitized din. Makita ng budget, ng accounting, ng HR, para ma-align. They will not check already. They will check in the system. And then later on, budgetan na. Pupunta na sa cashier. O, di ba? So meaning, we are happy because may system tayo. So, we will just upgrade it.
Thank you very much, sir. Your time is up. Thank you, ma'am. And this time, we will proceed to the next stakeholder group from the alumni.
Morning, sir. Mr. Antonio Sinilla po of the University of Antique Alumni Association, the alumni sector representative. Sir, in your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Ulitin ko po. In your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow?
Thank you, sir. That is why we have our Alumni Affairs Director, the one who spearheaded the activities in our university. So, for me, no, we will digitize man, no? So, dapat may system tayo or may mga GC para sa ating mga alumni, mga OFW graduates natin. Di ba? And of course, siyempre ang kulang natin dito is balay alumni. Wala po tayong balay alumni. As I remember, one of the project of the alumni is yung overpass, no? Sa time pa yun is ni Attorney Raffles at ni Sir... Yung Vice President natin noon, si Sir Soriano, okay. This time, mayroon tayong mga alumni affairs director. So dapat, we will tap our alumni para ma-improve namin natin ang ating alumni. So therefore, 30 years behind, meaning to say, hindi natin malaman kung they are there already or syempre marami na silang mga pera. So we will tap them kasi yan ang magbibigay sa atin ng mga projects dito sa school. So meaning, kung itap natin ang alumni at magaling kang mag-ano sa kanila, therefore, bibigay yon ng mga donasyon sa University of Antique. So therefore, yun lang, ang kailangan natin, we will tap the alumni.
Okay, your time is up, sir. Thank you. And finally, may we call on back again our representative from the private sector.
Hello, sir. Good morning. I am past President Juliana O. Sepe of the Rotary Club of Antique. This is our question. How will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders? Again, how will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders?
Okay. So, we have graduates, So, tingnan natin, ano na ang mga graduates natin? So, if we can see na ang mga graduates natin ay mabuti, nakaka-employ sila sa ibang industry, meaning to say, ang faculty na nagtuturo sa kanila ay may values at may character because our students needs to be guided ng ating mga faculty. So dapat yung faculty natin ay involved din dito. So therefore, if we nurture our students guided with values, therefore, kahit saan mo yan ilagay ang mga student natin, they can excel, they can prove to themselves na kaya nila because we hone here in our school. So, of course, kailangan natin mga ethics at character because that is our, yun ang ating sa sarili natin. If you lack that, my dear student, kung kulang ka sa character, malalaman mo talaga na iba ang magagawa ng mabuting character. Para, syempre, sa employment basis. So therefore, kung mabuti yung nagtuturo sa iyo, therefore, ang product is magaling din sila. So, they are, they are inviting para sa kanilang employment.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wilfredo N. Muhad. That ends round one for Dr. Muhad. This time, may we call on back on stage candidate number 4, Dr. Carlos Alfonso Salvador. Requesting again our student rep for the question to Dr. Salvador.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Dean Pidoy and I'm representing the student sector. And the question is, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses? Again, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
Um, to, to understand the cycle of inclusivity, we have to understand first the demographics of our province in itself. We have to check on our curriculum because curriculum also has to do with inclusivity. And we also need to see factors which are in terms of flexible learning. I think we have also to consider that one. The flexibility of delivery and inclusive design and sustained retention support is also one of the factors that we have to consider. Because retention, it shows that despite of the fact that we have the free higher education, I think it's still an issue to us that retention is still big. And that retention can be lessened or minimized if we try to look on the very essence of the root cause of that dropouts, the number of dropouts that we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. This time from the faculty.
Good morning, sir. I am 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 𝐾𝐬𝐢𝐿 from representing the faculty sector, both faculty and part-time instructors. Faculty are the core of the university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance in teaching, research, and services? May I repeat? Faculty are the core of the university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas of faculty development, and what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services?
Yes. In terms of faculty development, I think the resources that we have to allocate is actually the resources materials that we have for our faculty, and the aid that we give to them, because you cannot teach what you do not have. So I think what we need is actually to give priority on the environment where they are working, the classrooms, and of course the trainings and seminars that we give to them. And in terms of criteria, on the allocation, it's more on the instruction in itself and student development. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. May we request back again the representative from the admin.
Good morning, sir. I am 𝐴𝐲𝐿𝐴 Isserato, the college librarian of this university. And in behalf of the administrative and non-teaching personnel, I am throwing this question. How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology? Again, how do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services, like enrollment and records, to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology?
Yeah. Unification of system is not an easy task, actually. What we do is actually we do it in a separate perspective. Like, for example, we start with enrollment, and then we start with accounting system, and then we start with the library. And all of this should be entangled together so that it will be considered unified. However, if we want really accessibility, I think we have to look on what is the thing that students usually use. And for me, it's actually the cell phone. So cell phone can be done with applications. So I think to make it more accessible, the services that we want to give to our students more accessible is that we do use of the technology, especially the applications. Because I think in Palawan State University, we have tried to have the enrollment system on a certain app. Because I think that's the new generation right now. That is where we are, and that is where we are leading in terms of technology use. So we cannot just depend on website development, Facebook applications, but also we have to ensure that all the services, especially in the student services, would be given to our students, because at the end of the day, it is our students who will benefit from it. And it is our students whom we are all serving in this university. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am, for that question. Requesting our representative from the alumni.
Good morning po, sir. Mr. Antonio Sinilla po, representing the alumni sector. Sir, in your vision of a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Ulitin ko po. In your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Sir?
I think we have a wrong connotation when it comes to development. That is the reason why we have sustainable development, right? It also goes with the culture. We retain the ceremonies, we retain the activities that are actually part of the system in itself before we all came in. And I think that is how we preserve traditions. For example, in one of the universities, there is a tradition of what they call the Binyag-Ariba. And when we talk of the Binyag-Ariba, there's always time immemorial, for 70 years, for 100 years, it has been part of the university. And I think that is also how we will encourage and maintain the culture in itself. We don't remove culture, we only try to make modernize of the things around us, but not the culture in itself. Because culture is our own identity. It is the identity of the University of Antique. If given the chance to be your president, I will not change culture. I will be the one to change my culture. Because remember, my commitment to this university is to be adaptive in itself. Therefore, I will embrace your culture the way you are before I came in. And that is an assurance to all of you, because culture for me is important. Culture for me is always an identity, being a person who actually advocate culture. That is where, yun yung nagpapabalik po sa atin, sa mga alumni natin. Yun yung mag-i-encourage sa kanila na kaya gusto kong bumalik sa UK.
Okay, time is up. Thank you very much from our alumni representative. And finally, for Dr. Salvador, let's listen to the question from the private sector representative from the private sector.
Good noon, sir. I am past President Juliana Osepe of the Rotary Club of Antique. This is our question. How will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders? Again, how will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders?
Yeah. It's nice to look at po yung tinatawag nating globally competitive. But I think to be globally competitive is easy because we are teaching that inside our classroom. The challenge now for all of us is actually, especially our educators, is that we have to be globally adaptive. Because adaptability would talk about the skills. You know, we can teach about standards because that is globally being globally competitive. But being globally adaptive is something that we need to emphasize on because every culture, every country, every nation has a different sets of values, and we have to allow them to understand that there is a need for us to be globally adaptive in itself. And to be globally adaptive will also be benefiting the local perspective, because at least our local can also be globally adaptive in itself, or globally competitive in itself. To be globally adaptive, and to be globally adaptive is also to be globally competitive. That is the wrong theory sometimes, kasi we focus on global competitiveness, and we forgot that our students also needs to be globally adaptive in itself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Maraming salamat, Dr. Carlos Alfonso C. Salvador, our candidate number 4. May we call on back on stage candidate number 5, Dr. John C. Amar. Requesting right now our representative from the student for your question.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Dean, and I'm representing the student sector. So the question is, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses? Again, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
Again, good morning. Thank you for the question. One of my development goals is student success and holistic development, wherein we really need to institutionalize student success framework, expand scholarship access and financial assistance, and at the same time, enhance sports activities, as well as, of course, academic learnings, and of course, the very most important one, as a computer science graduate is, this is for the university, to increase the bandwidth of every student. Because at present, students find it very hard to search for topics especially needed in classrooms. That is why one of my goals is to increase the bandwidth connectivity of students in the University of Antique.
Okay, thank you very much. Requesting our representative from the faculty. Again, sir, your question?
Good morning, sir. Ay, good afternoon na gali. Good afternoon, sir. I am 𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐿 from representing faculty sector, both faculty and part-time instructors. Faculty are the core of the university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development? And what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how you would evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services? Again, may I repeat? Faculty are the core of a university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development? And what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services?
Again, one of my development goals is quality assurance and academic excellence. But how can we achieve academic excellence? First is send our faculty members to graduate school, because I am pretty sure that the performance of our students would simply depend on what kind of instructors, what kind of professors we have inside the classroom. That is why one of my goals is strengthen the faculty development program of the university by sending our faculty members learn again in the graduate school. Second is, as far as research is concerned, this is really my problem. Just imagine giving a meager amount for a faculty member to go into research. Just imagine 11,000 pesos per program. How could you finish that research if you are only given a mere budget, 11,000 pesos for one academic year? And lastly, as a management graduate, I would really focus on investing to the faculty development program of the school, and of course, strengthens academic freedom of the faculty members.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, from the administrative personnel.
Good noon, sir.
Good noon.
I'm 𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐿 Sirato, representing the administrative and non-teaching personnel. And there is your question. How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology? Again, how do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology?
Again, as a computer science graduate, I really envision the University of Antique to be an AI-empowered university in accordance with the race agenda of the Commission on Higher Education that focuses on the implementation, integration of artificial intelligence in the classroom. One of my development goals is digital transformation. But how can we achieve this? First is full implementation of the AIMS system of the university. Upgrade e-library systems and smart classrooms. Build the digital gap between our students and, of course, the global market. Again, in order to address this issue is we are going to integrate race or response to the use of artificial intelligence for societal empowerment. This is in accordance with the race agenda of Dr. Agrupis.
Okay, thank you very much. Now from the alumni representative, your question, sir?
Magandang araw po, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Star Antonio Sunilia po, representing the alumni sector. Sir, my question is, in your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Ulitin ko po. In your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure the alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow, sir?
Okay, thank you, sir, for that question. I would simply believe that our alumni are the brand ambassadors of the University of Antique. They would speak outside of what kind of instruction, what kind of university we have here in the University of Antique. They would simply tell other people outside that the University of Antique is really a university that transforms lives and cares for their alumni. And how can we preserve this culture? I think it is but fitting and proper that every time that we have our activities here in the university, we simply invite them. We simply recognize their feats and accomplishments as alumni of the University of Antique. By this, we are giving them the full recognition that they are still part and parcel of the University of Antique.
Okay, thank you very much. And finally, this time from the private sector representative.
Good afternoon, sir. I am
Good
past
afternoon.
President Juliana O. Sepe from the Rotary Club of Antique. This is our question. How will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders? Again, how will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. I would simply believe that no man is an island. No one can dance the tango alone. We need, of course, the collaboration of the stakeholders, because stakeholders would really help a lot in carrying out the vision, mission, and objectives of the university. That is why we really need to strengthen our collaboration between the University of Antique and our stakeholders. With this, we are giving, of course, recognition to our stakeholders who would really form part of the University of Antique, because stakeholders would really help a lot in succeeding in reaching out or carrying out our vision in transforming lives and building communities.
Okay, durugig nga salamat, Dr. John C. Amar. Thank you, sir. And we would like to call on back again on stage, finally, our last candidate for this round, Dr. Loyalda T. Bolivar. Requesting our representative from the student.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Dane, and I'm representing the student sector. Okay. The question is, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses? Again, how will you create a learning environment that fosters inclusiveness, safety, and support for students with diverse needs across all campuses?
Okay, thank you for that question. Well, first and foremost, that is the call right now. We have the call for inclusivity because of sustainable development concept, and we have from admission, we have to be very careful about that we do not left anyone behind. And so, yeah, admission is the start of inclusivity. And of course, in all your activities, everyone should be joining those activities, which would create better and the lifelong learning for each and every one. So there should have to be proper venue where the qualified, the talented, just like what we do. No? All we need to do is enhance those that hindi po pwedeng makaligtaan yung mga merong mga talento. So dapat may mga hubs tayo for students to what? To be able to showcase their talents and abilities. Yes, with the advent of the AI right now, yung mga personal learning, creativity, and whereby you can what? You can develop your creative thinking, yun yung mga dapat gawin. No? So lahat, sa student council pa lang, lahat yan, nakatahi lahat yung mga activities for those things to happen, for inclusivity. No? So of course, with the colleges.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for that question.
Thank you.
Representative from the faculty, please.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I am Edward J. Cabrillos. I am representing the faculty sector, both faculty and part-time instructors. Faculty are the core of a university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development? And what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services? Again, may I repeat? Faculty are the core of a university's success. Given limited resources and diverse needs across departments, how would you identify the priority areas for faculty development? And what criteria would you use to allocate resources effectively? Can you describe how would you evaluate the impact of these initiatives to ensure they truly enhance teaching, research, and services?
Okay, thank you for that question. Yes, of course, the lifeblood of any organization are the human resources. So, talagang dapat alam natin yung ano yung mga profile ng mga faculty natin. No? We have to be very serious about their qualification and sino ba yung mga magagaling sa research. No? Kung ako, magagaling sa research, magagaling sa mga iba't ibang mga areas. No? So, doon ka magfo-focus at saka dapat naka-prioritize yan. Eto you should have to be bearing in mind those who are next in line and then those people who are have just entered the university, dapat magaling kang mag-spot sa kanila. At dapat may prioritization of the resources. Ito yung college na ito, dapat ganito yung mga programs. So dapat prioritization is key. Dapat may mapping tayo ng mga faculty na kung sino yung mga dapat dito, especially yung mga research oriented, may mga background sa research, because that's the name of the game right now. We have to be research rigorous in all our undertakings. So dapat ang mga dapat fair enough tayo. No? Kung sino yung mga, dapat may tayo, committee na talagang mag-screen kung sino ba yung dapat mauna sa mga faculty development na yan, dapat ba, need ba yan ng mga colleges, and so on and so forth. But minding that no one should be left behind still. No? It should be inclusive. Talagang linyada siya. No? Dapat klaro sa mga deans at saka sa mga finance people. No? Talagang magmi-meeting, SWOT analysis of all.
Okay, thank you. Salamat, sir, for that question. This time from the administrative personnel of the university, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Armila Reserato, representing the administrative and non-teaching personnel. And here is the question. How do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays, and what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology? Again, how do you plan to implement a unified digital one-stop platform for student services like enrollment and records to eliminate bureaucratic delays? And what measures will you take to ensure this system remains equitable and accessible for students with limited technology?
Okay. So, ginagawa na natin, intensify na lang natin. May SIMs tayo eh. At saka lahat in place na, no? Pero yung pagpaigtingin lang ba yung mga ginagawa na natin, may online enrollment na tayo. Ang admission natin nandyan na. No? Anyone could be, no? May mga tayo, may mga criteria na ginagawa na kung sino ba yung dapat i-take in. May mga na tayo, may ba tawag dito? May cut-off ng mga scores. But because of inclusivity, mayroon pa tayong mga ibang areas na tinatanaw kung pwede ba talaga ito, no? So all these things, no, yung pagpaigting na lang ng ating mga and of course, digitalization, tracking of all the things that we do, yung mga document, na yan, hindi yung maraming documents na nagdi-delay. So, we should have to establish digitalization in its real sense. Hindi yung umpisa lang, kahit ng SIMs natin, hindi natin na talagang na-embrace. So, yun yung marching order dapat. I-embrace natin yan. Ano na ba yung nagawa natin? So, SWOT analysis pa rin tayo dyan. Because we are already there. No? Alam natin yan. So, yung mga estudyante na walang technology, hindi man deprived, na medyo mahina lang. Siyempre, mag-walk-in sila, ginagawa na rin natin. Punta sila rito and establish natin ng husto yung mga tao na nanandiyan. No? So, admission should have to be very effective and efficient.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. This time from the private sector. Let's listen to the representative from the private sector.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am past President Juliana Osepe of the Rotary Club of Antique. This is our question. How will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of local stakeholders? Again, how will you ensure that graduates of the University of Antique are highly employable, globally competitive, and instilled with strong ethics and values while being responsive to the needs of the local stakeholders?
Thank you, Ma'am, for that question. Yeah, I'm very happy about that question because, that's the name of the game. No? What will happen to our graduates in the future? Being a future-ready university, as my vision, students should have to be honed who are ready to be with the whole world or even in the local scene. No? Dapat nandun sila. And so we have to prepare them. We have to what? To create a curricula which is future ready. AI is already there. Hindi tayo aalis or magpalagyo ba, no? We cannot veer away from that. So dapat paigtingin natin yung mga dynamics natin, yung mechanism natin. Internationalization is the in thing, no? Linkages, collaboration. Sa klase pa lang, yung mga faculty, hindi na yung traditional. Dapat practice-based para pagdating sa OJT and all, wow, commendable yung ating mga students. And we know the practice, we know the needs of our industries. So constant and regular curriculum review is the name of the game as well, of all faculty, of all the stakeholders, involving the stakeholders to respond to the needs of the environment, of the industry. Yun lang yun. Partnership, tripartite, ano pa man yan, na klaseng partnership, consortia and everything, MOA signing natin every other week or all, but it should not end there. It should have to be executed na talagang transforming lives ang ending natin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And finally this time, from the alumni.
Good afternoon po, ma'am. I am Antonio Sinilla, representing the alumni sector. Our question is, in your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow? Ulitin ko po. In your vision for a modern UA, how will you preserve the unique cultural identity and traditions of the university to ensure that alumni from 30 years ago still feel a sense of belonging in the campus of tomorrow, ma'am?
Thank you, sir, for that question. Yeah, so very nice question, because I believe one of the lifelines of a growing and future-proof university are the alumni. Strong alumni is key to the development of any university. Paigtingin natin yan. Medyo mahina tayo dyan. No? Medyo. Alam mo yan, sir. So, nandun na tayo. Pero, how to step up? How to level up is key. So, may programs na tayo dyan. Paigtingin yan. There should have to be thorough planning so that they keep on coming. They could keep on pouring resources for the good of the student tree. Alam natin yan, magagaling yung ating mga alumni, kulang na lang yung ating sustainability. Because I believe in anything that we do, we should have to anchor on sustainable development concepts, and therefore, sustainability alumni is a part. Programs, yung mga alumni office should have to be established very well na makip track natin yung mga alumni. Yung tracer study natin, paigtingin pa. We are doing that right now. No, being a dean, talagang ang ganda tingnan. Nag-level 4 na kami sa HM. I'm proud to say, kami yung unang nag-level 4. Alumni, very important. Kung saan sila, anong nangyari sa kanila. So we will put it together in the office. So dapat strong alumni office and officers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Loyalda T. Bolivar. That ends round 1 of our Q&A segment. We will proceed immediately to round 2. In this round, each candidate will be asked to pick one random question from the bowl or from the small basket. The questions were prepared by representatives from the different stakeholders as well as from the audience. Each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer the question. The same order of candidates will be followed throughout this round. To assist the candidates in managing their time, again, a timer will be used. The bell will ring once to signal the start of the response, twice to indicate that 30 seconds remain, and of course 3 times to signify that the allotted time has ended. The timer will begin once the candidate starts answering. After a question is drawn, I will be the one to read the question clearly for 2 times, and that will be answered by our candidate. We also remind everyone that follow-up questions are not allowed in order to maintain fairness and consistency for all candidates. We would like to request our 6 presidentiables for 𝐏 President of the University of Antique to please join me here on stage. In order. A round of applause please to our 6 candidates for 𝐏 President. Nasa round 2 na tayo. Okay, based on the draw lots earlier, the first one is Dr. May T. Delgado, followed by Dr. Godeline Gallega Hisole, and our third candidate is Dr. Wilfredo Muhat. Our fourth is Dr. Carlos Alfonso Salvador. Our fifth is Dr. John C. Amar. And finally, we have Dr. Loyalda T. Bolivar. Sir J. Luces holds the small basket that contains various questions from the different stakeholders. So each candidate will pick one, and I will be the one to read it twice and for them to answer after. May we call on now Dr. May T. Delgado to pick your question, ma'am. This question was from Dr. Maria Rosaline Palcat, ED CESO 5, representative of the Governor of the Province of Antique. Dr. Delgado, your question: how will the University of Antique help the provincial government of Antique break the bondage of poverty among our marginalized Antiqueños, particularly the Sacadas? Again, how will the University of Antique help the provincial government of Antique break the bondage of poverty among our marginalized Antiqueños, particularly the Sacadas?
Thank you for that question, ma'am, and of course, sir, for reading it. First, of course, is to identify the real score, meaning what's really the situation, what's the context of these Sacadas. Do they have other skills, or do they have other livelihood aside from this? Because Sacada is just seasonal, I should say. And after that, of course, after considering the context, University of Antique has varied extension programs that could meet the needs, specifically the livelihood programs. So different colleges have their own projects or programs that would help meet the needs. And of course, since University of Antique does not have a lot of funds in research, we could just share technology, for example, or help train their capabilities of these Sacadas. But we need also funding in order to fund or to support these projects that would hone these Sacadas so that they could, shall we say, come up with their own livelihood based on what they could do. So it's capability building, support. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Delgado. May we call on this time our second candidate, Dr. 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝. The question, as we shift operations online, how will you balance the need for robust cybersecurity with a commitment to upskilling administrative staff, ensuring that no employee is left behind as our systems become more technically advanced? Again, I will repeat the question. As we shift operations online, how will you balance the need for robust cybersecurity with a commitment to upskilling administrative staff, ensuring that no employee is left behind as our systems become more technically advanced?
Thank you so much. The answer to that question is integrating technology, of course, in the processes, and one of which is to protect the system. Meaning we should have a double protection of the system of the university where cybersecurity will be in place, and our faculty, or our staff rather, will not be left behind by providing them the platform, by providing them the equipment that will be needing for running the operation of the university. And as well as there will be no disruption on the operations of the university. We have to remember that the administrative staff and the non-teaching staff of this university are part of the equation of the progress of the university. So the faculty, the non-teaching staff, even our students, of course our students are really important as well, but to answer that question is provide double protection on the online platform, the university, so that nobody could enter or could violate the cyber security of the university. And then the processes, the operation of the university will not be hampered because there will be a continuous operation. And also, the university should have this business continuity plan with regard to full online operation of the university. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Hisole. May we call on now Dr. Wilfredo Muhat to please speak your question. Sir, your question? The alumni organization, as part of the UA system, usually experienced hardship to implement programs and activities due to the fact that most of the officers are government employees, especially coming from the educational sector, resulting to a conflict of duties that became the ground of not attending during the alumni meetings. What measure or measures will you impose, if ever elected as UA president, regarding the said problem? Again, the alumni organization, as part of the UA system, usually experienced hardship to implement programs and activities due to the fact that most of the officers are government employees, especially coming from the educational sector, resulting to a conflict of duties that became ground of not attending the alumni meetings. What measures will you impose if you will be elected as UA president regarding the said problem?
We are all the fact that we are all busy in our work. So it's a matter of inviting them. So we have also our director for alumni affairs. So as a director, you should impose or you should tap the alumni. Even though they are busy in their field, kailangan natin na magagawa ng paraan. We will have our activities na exciting para sa kanila, para ma-invite sila na pumunta dito sa atin paaralan. And if ever I will be elected as UA president, una kong gagawin, of course, we have to build an alumni building or balay alumni para makita nila na ang kanilang mga projects or donations ay visible, makita ng mga estudyante, makita ng community, makita ng mga faculty and staff, makita ng mga graduates natin, yung mga alumni natin. Then, even though na they are busy in their work, they are inviting, makita nila ang mga projects, ang mga lahat-lahat, no, na i-invest nimo sa community or dito sa paaralan. So therefore, if they saw it, kahit busy ka kung minsan, di ba? If we have our activities, ganun. Like for example, i-invite din ako ng alumni doon sa paaralan na ginagraduate ko. So, even though if I'm busy, if nakita natin na maganda ang investment ng mga alumni, so that's it.
Your time is up. Thank you very much, Dr. Muhat. We will proceed to candidate number 4 this time, Dr. Carlos Alfonso Salvador. I think this is similar to the first question, or the question asked to Dr. Muhat. So probably another chance for you to pick, sir. This is from the alumni. The same question. Dr. Salvador, your question: how will you ensure consistent implementation of the faculty manual across all colleges and departments, including teaching load, research requirements, faculty evaluation, and study leave policies? How would you handle situations where compliance with the manual conflicts with staffing constraints while ensuring fairness and faculty right? For example, Two faculty members in the same department want to study live at the same time, but the department cannot function properly if both are away. Again, I will repeat the question. How will you ensure consistent implementation of the faculty manual across all colleges and departments, including teaching load, research requirements, faculty evaluation, and study leave policies? How would you handle situations where compliance with the manual conflicts with staffing constraints while ensuring fairness and faculty rights? For example, two faculty members in the same department want to study live at the same time, but the department cannot function properly if both of them are away.
Thank you for that question. Basically, in management, it only tells us that there is a monitoring and evaluation process. And I think that is what we have to focus more. If we want to implement policies, then we have to really look on the monitoring purpose. That's the reason why we have the department chairpersons, the different deans, and different offices that are assigned for us to monitor and evaluate. Now, when in terms of conflicting when it comes to leave of a faculty, I think we have to rationalize on it. What are the possible ways on how we will be able to still allow, especially if it is a need, right? If it is a need, then we have to somehow look on overloading of our faculties if it is possible. If it is also possible that we hire part-timers for that matter, because I think faculty development is also important. Faculty development is also important because that is the only way that we give quality education without them with their continuous study. Because, you know, I also believe, and I'm a firm believer of continuing education. I myself make sure that I always have the continuing education. At least every year, I have a training. And I think that is also how our teachers should be. Because you cannot give what you do not
Okay,
have.
thank you very much, Dr. Salvador. Let's move on to our candidate number 5, Dr. John C. Amar. Dr. Amar, your question? Many students continue to face challenges due to aging facilities and limited equipment across the university. How do you intend to prioritize the upgrading and modernization of laboratories, learning spaces, and student centers within your first 100 days in office, especially in our extension campuses, where these gaps are often more pronounced? Again, many students continue to face challenges due to aging facilities and limited equipment across the university. How do you intend to prioritize the upgrading and modernization of laboratories, learning spaces, and student centers within your first 100 days in office, especially in our extension campuses where these gaps are often more pronounced?
Thank you for that question, sir. One of my development goals is all about digital and smart campus transformation. I think It's good that the University of Antique has started the implementation of the aims. With this, there is a need to continue the implementation of the AIM system of the university. Number two, we need, of course, to add additional budget, not only here in the main campus, but of course, across all campuses. As the Dean of the College of Computing and Information Sciences, I really find it very difficult to provide facilities, especially, of course, on our CCIS students. With this, we really need to find and look budget in order to finance the repair and construction of these aging facilities. But how can we achieve this? We need, of course, to tap our alumni. We need to tap, of course, our provincial government as well as national development. We need, of course, to tap our stakeholders because in the end, they will be the ones who are going to support the facilities, improve the instruction of the University of Antique. I think that would be all, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Amar. And finally, we are going to request this time back on the podium, Dr. Loyalda T. Bolivar. Dr. Bolivar, your question? What specific governance reforms will you implement to ensure ethical practice, transparency, accountability, and participatory decision-making, especially in budget utilization, faculty promotion, and student representation? Again, what specific governance reforms will you implement to ensure ethical practice, transparency, accountability, and participatory decision-making, especially in budget utilization, faculty promotion, and student representation?
Thank you po for that question. Yes, the marching order for me is digitalization, because this is very key if we would like to see, or we would like to experience transparency, and we would like to have accountability, because we can keep track everything, and with the proper mechanisms in place, makikita natin dapat kung ano yung mga documents, saan yan hindi gumagalaw, and so on and so forth. And as to what else? Student participation?
Students' representation.
Students' representation, yes. No. We, as I know, no, because we have the student regent, dapat yung voice ng mga students ay talagang makikita, yung true and genuine voice. So dapat paigtingin yung mga ginagawa ng mga student council natin, all campuses, ano ba yung mga problema, ano ba yung mga dapat pagawin, magagaling na tayo sa mga maraming areas, pero ano pa ba? Faculty as well. Dapat may regular tayong session or parang bull session ba? Sa lahat-lahat na, every month, meron tayong mga activities na makikita natin doon yung mga pinaka-problema, and then we bring that, no? With digitalization as number one, we can have everything in place. With governance policies and adoption of this and developing the curriculum, turuan natin yung lahat sa AI and all these things para lahat transparent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Loyalda T. Bolivar. That ends round 2 of our second segment, the Q&A portion. So thank you for all the candidates for your thoughtful responses and for sharing your insights and leadership vision for the University of Antique. May we call on our Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Shala Delgado, for the continuation of our program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Geoffrey Barcibal, for expertly facilitating the presentation in public forum with clarity, fairness, and professionalism. We also extend our sincere appreciation to our esteemed candidates for their insightful presentations and thoughtful responses. Your visions, plans, and commitments have provided us with a deeper understanding of the leadership directions for the University of Antique. To our distinguished members of the Board of Regents, the Search Committee, and to all stakeholders present, thank you for your active participation and engagement in this meaningful and transparent process. Indeed, today's forum has not only highlighted the qualifications of our candidates, but has also strengthened our collective aspirations for a dynamic, responsive, and forward-looking University of Antique. Before we proceed to the next part of our program, may I request the candidates together with the search committee to have their photo op on stage. To formally conclude this significant event, may we call on Dr. Jaline O. Alentahan, OIC University President, University of Antique, for the closing message.
Good afternoon, everyone. To the esteemed members of the Search Committee for Presidency of the University of Antique, these are the stalwarts of Philippine higher education. Dr. Butid, Dr. Ronquillo, Dr. Muyong, thank you very much for being with us. It's an honor to have you here at the University of Antique. Together with Ma'am Ariane, Sir Mark, and Attorney, to the leaders of the province, the academe and the local government units, the private and public agencies in the province, the members of the governing board of the University of Antique in attendance today, my fellow VPs, Dr. Crespo, Dr. Viesca, the rest of the executive committee members, the school officials, faculty, staff, beloved parents, and all other stakeholders, saliwat, salamat, kag mayad-ayad gid nga hapon. Thank you for bearing with us with this long process for the search for the next president. We appreciate very much your perseverance. A verse in Psalm says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart today." In listening and observing the candidates, we who wait and hope for the best person to be the next UA president, and may I acknowledge the 6 brave presidentiables. We are searching the gems in your hearts today. God-anointed leadership starts on the inside. A right heart, whether it will listen to self and respond with fear or pride, or listen to God and respond with compassion and confidence in His truth and control. It is what's in the heart that are translated in a leader's speech, actions, and behavior. A transformed heart will manifest in what the leader's head can conceive and inspire, in what his or her hands can create and cause to be produced, and what his habits or daily action can achieve for the greater good of the institution and the people he or she serves. We await that leader with integrity, competence in academics, research, extension, and governance, and most of all, compassion for people, faculty, and students alike. These are what we look for as we listen and observe them this morning, and because we all have a stake in his or her leadership, for we are a significant part of the university. We hope for a leadership that does not just stay at the top, but touch down to the lowest and widest reaches of our academic and community life. A leader who is visible and leads by example, to join him in the mission to transform lives and build sustainable and resilient communities. For this, we thank the expert, judicious, and compassionate efforts of the members of the search committee, Messieurs et Mesdames, sirs and ma'am. You went beyond the call of duty to evaluate papers. You evaluated fitness for leadership to ensure UA's welfare. You are indeed the leader makers whose influence will be part of the annals of UA's history. Duro-duro gid nga salamat. To all the rest of the stakeholders who assisted in the search by expressing their aspiration for UA, salamat. To the candidates, congratulations for a job well done. And may your vision for UA be fulfilled and bring glory to the Almighty in the next 4 years. And to everyone, bambuhay. Dahil ang araw na ito ay isa sa marami pang simula para sa isang bago, angat at makabuluhang buhay para sa lahat. Let us all continue to make UA, the Antiques Pride. Again, mayad nga hapon ka natin tanan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jeline O. Alentangan, for your inspiring closing remarks. And now may I request everyone to please rise for the exit of colors. On behalf of the University of Antique, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to all participants, organizers, and attendees for making this event a success. May today's forum guide us in choosing a leader who will steer our beloved university toward greater heights. Once again, I am Dr. Sheila D. Delgado, your Master of Ceremonies.
And I am Dr. 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐬𝐢𝐝 𝐏𝐫𝐿, your moderator.
Thank you, and Bambuhay!